The lads had almost no formal training. Stephen had always been interested in designing clothes. In college, the costume designer in the theater department showed him how to sew.
William at the time had moved to New York, and I was just graduating from my program. He said move to New York. I moved to New York. I was making clothing. He was doing beadwork. We started bringing it together, and that was sort of the origin of us working together on these like sewn objects.
Soon, the lads were making haute couture accessories. They met Christian Lacroix in Paris and collaborated with him on accessories for his collection, and their work was included in an exhibition on the history of the handbag. Early works were often made of quilting and fabric swatches. More recently, scrolls and beads have become central to the open boxes they call landscapes. Nothing goes to waste. They upcycle materials whenever possible.
A scroll is a tightly coiled strip of fabric, and it started by tearing down all of the leftover fabrics that were in our studios. I love the sound of fabric tearing. Now the scroll has become a major part of our landscapes. So instead of just being a part of our recycling program, we actually make all of the scrolls as the foundational layer of the landscape.
And then on top of those scrolls sits the accessories that we're making.
The accessories include a necktie made of glass beads that William weaves into translucent fabric on a delicate loom.
And it could take up to, 50 hours to make.
And he forms the shape of it just by increasing and decreasing on the loom.
Back in 2001, I bought my first Murex loom, and it's just a really large-scale, beautiful loom. A loom is something that you make a textile on. So all of a sudden, opening these doors to being able to make woven beaded textiles.
And really all those accessories, it's really just glass beads and thread. So when you're wearing these accessories, the temperature of it changes, the light can pass through it. So all of a sudden, the work had all of these incredible qualities to it.
Stephen and William often begin by deciding on the size and dimensions of the boxes.
Very early on, we had started using glue on the very first set of boxes that we ever had made, which we're also showing at the Mingei. And after that moment, we just kind of made a decision to not use glue anymore.
It starts out with an archival board, and we have a table saw and cut down those archival boards. And then we'll cover all of those boards in fabric. And then we'll hand stitch all of those fabrics together and create this box. Once you get to the end of the box, you use this beautiful invisible stitch with a circular needle that just kind of closes everything so that it just seems like this perfectly seamless box.
The books have always been like a very important way for us to bring together the stories about the work, the history of the process, images of the process.
We kind of always have our own journals, and so for each show that we have, we make a limited edition book based on our own journal entries and our own writings, because documentation has always been a huge thing for us, to just make sure that there's a record of the work that we're making.
And beyond just being a record, it's also another way for us to really build this object.
The lads' work is continually evolving. They plan meticulously, but they never know where their journey will take them. They create magical, unexpected worlds.